Welcome to Radio Friends on Friday, February the 28th. We've got one guest today, very interesting topic, and that's hypnosis. Dr. David Newman is with us. Good to have you here.
Thank you
David,
very much.
RoseHeart Hypnotherapy Success Center. And I read in the paper a couple of weeks ago, it was in USA Today, about how hypnosis is now being used on a somewhat regular basis. Not a lot, but somewhat regular in medical treatments. And doctors say they're not sure why it works, but it seems to work.
Yeah.
And this was a USA Today article, I want to say 2 or 3 weeks ago. And I called you and I said, hey, did you see that in the paper? And you said, no, but I'll read it.
I did.
So
I did.
Why does hypnosis work or appear to work on some people?
Well, actually, hypnosis works on everyone, provided that the practitioner that's putting the person into hypnosis really knows what they're doing. And unfortunately, for so many years, people really weren't well trained. And so they didn't know exactly what they were doing. They would read a script. It might work on you. It wouldn't work on someone else. And so they'd say, well, this just isn't working, or the person's not hypnotizable.
But this is not to say that you don't see a doctor.
Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Hypnotherapists work as adjuncts with doctors. Doctors right now under our healthcare system can spend about 15 minutes with you, and that's it. In that 15 minutes, they can only really talk about your symptoms and give you something to mask the symptom. The hypnotherapist is working with you for an hour or 90 minutes, and we are the eyes and ears of that doctor. We can tell them things that they don't have time to find out. And then they go, oh, okay, I do want to look at that. So the next time you come in, they may run extra tests or something like that to pinpoint what it is that we're seeing. So we're really the adjunct, the eyes and ears.
I think what most of us don't realize or think about is how powerful the mind is.
Sure.
Now, would you say there's a difference between the mind and the brain?
Oh, absolutely. The brain is an organ inside the cranium of the skull. The mind, actually, we can measure it, and it's actually outside of that. Okay, it surrounds the whole brain. Input that comes in from the brain does go out, and it affects the mind. The conscious mind is about 12% of that, and the subconscious is 88%. And it's the subconscious that controls every aspect of your body that you don't consciously think about.
So how does the mind, under hypnosis, go about making you feel better or perhaps helping heal an ailment?
That's a really interesting question, and the best thing to do is for us to look at some of the research that is coming from the medical community, because the doctors are looking saying, wow, this is really neat. It works. We don't know why. So they're looking at it very, very hard to find out why. And at McGill University in Montreal, Quebec, Canada, the medical students over there sat down there and did an analysis, and they're specifically looking at Tourette's syndrome. For those of you that don't know what Tourette's is, that's uncontrollable tics, usually with the eyes or cheeks, sometimes uttering things that you don't plan on doing, and usually we see in movies where the person just comes out with all types of profanities, which does happen. The person's not meaning to do it, it just comes out. What they find is allopathically, using pharmacology, we can give you drugs that will stop that or will minimize it, but there's some pretty nasty side effects to a lot of it, including addiction. Under hypnosis, we can achieve the same result where the person no longer has the symptoms, they no longer are uttering the profanities, they're no longer having the tics and muscle tics and stuff, but there's no side effects, except the person feels more in control, their self-esteem goes up, and they feel more comfortable. So the doctors are saying, we don't understand how this works. Now, the subconscious behaviorist does, and that's what I am. And the reason is when we place you into hypnosis, we're bypassing all of your filters that would normally filter out information and say, yes, I'm going to accept this, or no, I'm not. And we're going directly to the subconscious, which does not know the difference between reality and fantasy. We're finding the particular message, if you will, that's going in to tic, for example, in Tourette's syndrome, or to utter things, and we're simply shifting that. And when we shift it, the symptom stops.
Can this work with anyone?
Yes.
Are there some people that you just cannot hypnotize?
There is no one that we cannot hypnotize. There are some people that are more resistant. These are people that we refer to as emotional suggestibles, that everything has to be very logical, rational, and reasonable, and they're very much wanting to maintain control. So they are a little bit more resistant because they're trying to hold on to control. What people need to understand is when you are in hypnosis, you are in total control. And you're probably more in control while you're under hypnosis than you are when you're out of hypnosis, because all the other stuff that's going on around here that is giving you input is tuned out, and you're simply focused on what it is that you want to do.
And you would not do anything under hypnosis that you would not normally do, correct? As far as anything negative that would harm you or anyone else?
No, when people go, for example, to the stage hypnotist and they see the people that go up on shows and they do crazy things, you have to understand, you're going to the show to be entertained. And the people that come up are already placed into hypnosis. You don't realize it. That's what the patter is before the show. They're placing the somnambulist into hypnosis, and they give them a hypnoidal command. If you want to be in the show, stand up. They want to be in the show. So they're already going that way.
Okay. So they're not really doing anything that they wouldn't not want to do.
Well, it's more of a situation with the stage hypnotist that they lower your inhibitions down so that things that you would normally filter out and go, I'm not going to do that because I'll look like an idiot. You sit down there and you look and go, you know what? Why not? It'll be fun. It's kind of like if you're at a holiday party and maybe you've had just a little bit too much to drink. Okay, your inhibitions drop down a little bit, so you say, you know what, let me do my imitation of this.
Okay.
And you do it. I'm going to do an imitation of the boss, and you do it. Normally, you'd never do an imitation of the boss, but this time you do.
All right.
That's what it's all about.
It really is. It's very, very interesting, and the thing that we need to keep in mind is how powerful the subconscious mind is.
The subconscious mind is more powerful than anything else we have. It is the best computer in the world because it never sleeps, it's always recording, and it's directly controlling everything that you and I do.
Right. If you want more information on this, you can talk with Dr. David Newman, RoseHeart Hypnotherapy Success Centers. How do they get in touch with you?
Give us a call. Our toll-free number is 888-604-9997, or you can go to our website, www.mohyp.com.
Okay. Really interesting, David, and I appreciate you coming by and spending time with us talking about it.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
We'll get you back when the weather warms up a bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Penguins in the road.
Right. Tomorrow we're going to talk, or Monday, we're going to talk about a benefit concert for the Salvation Army coming up. Our program is directed by Travis McMillan of the Reynolds Journalism Institute. Our assistant producer and guest coordinator, Uncle James Mauser. And if there's something that you would like to hear or see, please drop me an email, pepperp@missouri.edu. We'll see you Monday. Have a good weekend.